I bought the day before, so you don't have to. I spent $40 to give you my honest opinion, and I'm going to tell you right now, you should probably save your money. I would not recommend buying the game. I'm just throwing that out there right now. This is not me hating on the game or saying it's bad, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. I just want to get my initial thoughts out there to try to save some people some money and just get an idea of what this game is. So I spent about 2 hours in the game, and I watched about 4 hours of stream at the time of making this video. And some people had better experiences than me, but there are a lot of bugs and things in the game that it's just fundamentally missing, because there are things that in games like DayZ and Escape from Tarkov and Last of Us that they are drawing from that are just not apparent in this game. Like, there is no melee and there's no ability to jump or mantle over ledges. And I'm not talking like, hey, you need to climb up a cliff type of mantle. I'm talking like there is a guardrail and you can't walk over it, so you have to walk all the way around to get past it. Or like a small set of stairs you can't jump over. Like those type of things that just shouldn't be in the game. Like those are things that need to be in the game in order for your game to be fluid and like seamless as just a gameplay wise, not even talking about the issues with servers or anything like that. And I'll get into that in a little bit. Some of the key features that games should have like this are missing. And that's not a knock to them. They just need more time to work on these and develop those things as of now. It's going back to like Dead Matter. I got access to the alpha and I haven't played it since the alpha, but they've come a decent ways in the 2 years since alpha access came out. And I'm assuming the same will happen with DayZ. I know Tarkov has come leaps and bounds. So it just needs more time in the oven to be able to become the game that everyone wants it to. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the time that I had. There are things in there that I am desperately hoping they can pull off, and there's definitely the potential there. Like Beta Dark Zone Division, I get sort of those vibes from that, and I think that's the best time that Division ever had, and they almost captured that feeling that I had. So I think that's enough to be like, it's got the framework or the potential that this game needs to be great. But as of right now, if it's literally a skeleton of what it needs to be. It's got the framework, it's got the bones. Now you just need to add everything else and fully fleshed out the rest of the game. And some of the bugs that I've ran into, they're pretty game breaking. And this isn't me saying the devs didn't test or they're bad. I'm just telling you some of the things that I've run into, and some of them are funny. If you go on Reddit, I'm sure there's going to be clips of people turning into the size of the building and then flying into the air and falling to their death. Like, that stuff's hysterical. But like the bugs that I ran into is like you're not being able to open up your menu, or your map isn't going to be able to open up, or characters are always crouched with no running animations and sliding for forever. And then the one that really, like, I can work with having no maps, like that's fine. It's just more immersive experience, I guess I can look at it. But the one that I ran into where I can only face one direction and then I can't turn left or right, and my mouse won't turn left or right either, and I can't turn around, is pretty game breaking. I wasn't able to really explore any of the areas, so I had to restart, and then I had to wait in server queue. And I get servers, day one MMO. I'm not hating on them for that. Every single game launch is going to have server issues. So like, that's not really an issue to me, but some of those other things, that's like pretty substantial errors and pretty substantial lacking of things that just will need to be polished out. Other than saying this has some of the most potential in the world, there's not much more to be added on the negative side. Other things that I came across that are nitpicky, and well, maybe not even nitpicky, but definitely have room for improvement, is when you're aiming, your reticle's in the middle of your screen, but your bullet is slightly off, either to the left or right. I couldn't quite figure it out, and I would barrel stuff zombies and they just wouldn't hit. And I don't know if that was because like I am waiting for them to be super close, but the hit registration is just off by a little bit. It's just noticeable. It just needs a little bit of fine tuning, or maybe I'm just really bad, but like you never know. And then the like registration of F, which is your interact key on objects, isn't very fluid. Like you'll have a container that you want to loot and you'll be right in front of the container, but you have to be at the perfect angle in order to interact with it. Which if you're interacting with a fridge and you're supposed to be able to just be in front of the fridge and hit F, but you have to be like specifically aimed at just this particular part on the door handle. That hitbox or that area box that you need to have zoned in on that just needs to be little bit more fleshed out, in my opinion. The inventory and some of the systems, I'm going to talk about some of the positives now, is they are really actually pretty good. Like the framework that they have for the inventory system and how that works is actually pretty good, pretty solid. Don't have to worry about drag and dropping. You can just fast click, move things over, and adjust your inventory. Some of the weapon modding is very fleshed out. You'll be able to fully mod out some of your weapons the way you want. The gearing is pretty good. How the backpacks works, those who are familiar with Tarkov and DayZ, it's a lot like that. And it's almost like copied verbatim. So if you like those systems, you're going to like how it is in the day before. If you don't like those systems, well, I'm sorry. They're pretty good systems for what this type of game is. On to the zombie horde aspect, it could be a little more dense, but the idea of it is there. They are, I'm not going to say terrifying, but they're a little bit tanky, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying like they take a little bit more bullets to go down. Not saying that I never really shot a human. I was playing more friendly, and the wiggle still works. The Rainbow Six QE, lean right, lean left, still works. I think that's a good thing that you can wiggle people off. The universal sign of peace, the wiggle, or if you're a Tarkov player, the universal sign of I'm using cheats. But that's for a different topic. But yeah, with all those things being said, I'll just reiterate it again. I would hold off on spending any money. I'm not going to refund this game. I know a bunch of people are. I would cautiously watch. I don't think it's a cash grab like a lot of people are saying. It still might be. There's a feeling in the back of my head that says it might be, but it's basically you sit back with your little box of popcorn and you just eat away and you watch. And then maybe when it goes on sale, when the Steam summer sale next year for $10, you pick it up then. Just wait and see. I'm sure that they have a plan in place to make this one of the best games possible. And if not, I guess if you don't buy it, you can't be disappointed. And that's the way I would look at it. You're optimistic about its future, but you don't expect anything to come from it. And that's how I would approach the day before. If I'll keep playing a little bit, if something else comes up where I think it is warranting another video, I'll definitely put one out there. But that's all I have for this one. I hope you all have a great day.